The story of Noah and the Ark transcends cultures and religions, sparking fascination and questions over the centuries. The Bible describes Noah as a righteous man, chosen by God to preserve creation amidst an unprecedented disaster. The flood. But was the flood merely a spiritual allegory or a real historical event? Curiously, legends of great floods are not exclusive to the Judeo-Christian tradition. For example, the Sumerians recounted a similar story in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and indigenous peoples across different continents also have accounts of aquatic catastrophes that destroyed civilizations. This raises an intriguing enigma. Do these accounts share a common origin, or are they separate memories of the same event? Before exploring how Noah received the call to build the ark, a fundamental question arises. What could have led God to decide that humanity needed a fresh start? Before continuing, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because in the next videos, we'll delve into even more mysteries you won't want to miss. The accounts of a global flood challenge the line between myth and history. Modern science investigates geological evidence of catastrophic floods in various parts of the world, such as the Black Sea region, which might have inspired the biblical narrative. However, the global scale described in the Bible raises doubts. How could an event of such magnitude be possible? While some believe the flood was a literal divine intervention, others argue that it is a metaphor for humanity's moral and spiritual purification. The question becomes even more intriguing when we realize that ancient civilizations, with no apparent contact, share similar myths. Could these stories be collective memories of a real disaster? Or did each culture create its own narrative based on local phenomena? And if the flood did happen, where is the concrete evidence of such a destructive event? This leads to another mystery. Was Noah's Ark really built? The description of the Ark in the Bible goes beyond a simple boat. It provides details that impress engineers to this day. With specific proportions, 300 cubits long, 50 wide, and 30 high, the vessel was perfectly dimensioned to withstand the waves of a global cataclysm. But how could Noah, living in such ancient times, have had the ability to construct something so advanced? Some theories suggest he was guided by divine inspiration, while others point to the use of technological knowledge that may have been lost over the centuries. The choice of material, gopher wood, also remains a mystery, as its exact identification has been lost to time. Moreover, how did Noah handle the logistics of housing and feeding the animals? Was the ark merely a metaphor, or did it truly exist as an unparalleled work of engineering? This is just the beginning of the questions surrounding this epic narrative. The image of Noah gathering pairs of each species is one of the most fascinating aspects of the ark's story. But how could this have been possible in a world without the logistical resources we have today? Where did animals from distant regions, like kangaroos from Australia or penguins from Antarctica, come from? Some scholars suggest this part of the story might be symbolic, representing the preservation of biodiversity in times of crisis. Others argue that the selection was not random, but based on specific traits that would ensure the survival of each species after the flood. Even more intriguing is the concept of pure and impure animals, a distinction that raises questions about the spiritual relationship between humans and the natural world, and what happened to the species that didn't make it onto the ark. Could these creatures be linked to myths of extinct or legendary animals? Noah's mission appears far more complex than a simple collection of pairs. Noah's journey in the ark was not just physical but also emotional and spiritual. Imagine being isolated in a submerged world, surrounded by storms and darkness, not knowing when or if the journey would end. The Bible describes unrelenting rain for 40 days and 40 nights, but the ark drifted for much longer. How did Noah and his family cope with the psychological toll of such a desolate experience? And what about the animals? Did they remain in a state of tranquility, induced by divine forces or their own nature? There are also accounts of miracles during the voyage, such as signs in the sky that guided the ark. However, these details feed a new mystery. If the ark was truly guided by a higher power, what was the ultimate purpose of such a prolonged journey? By the way, have you heard of these hidden codes? Leave a comment if you've heard about them. Let's chat. When the water finally receded, the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat, according to the biblical account. But why this specific location? Historical accounts and modern testimonies mention mysterious structures on the mountain slopes, suggesting parts of the ark might have survived to this day. However, no definitive evidence has been found, despite countless expeditions over the centuries. Why do these attempts keep failing? Some believe the ice and extreme conditions of the site protect possible remnants, while others suspect intentional concealment, perhaps to preserve the mystery or avoid conflicts between science and religion. Additionally, some traditions suggest the ark didn't land on Ararat but on another nearby mountain. What we know for sure is that Mount Ararat continues to symbolize mystery, hope, and intrigue. But if the ark is there, why hasn't it been found? For centuries, humanity has wondered, where is Noah's ark? Various expeditions have ventured into the mountains of Ararat, cited in the Bible as the resting place of the vessel after the flood. Yet no concrete evidence has been confirmed. Photographs taken by planes during World War II, modern satellite images, and accounts from local explorers point to the existence of mysterious structures buried in ice. But why, with all the current technology, does the ark's location remain a mystery? Some theories suggest that governments and religious institutions hide information out of fear of the impact such a discovery would have on global beliefs. Others believe the ark was dismantled by Noah's descendants, its pieces used to build sacred sites or religious artifacts. If the ark truly existed, is it protected by a higher purpose? Or could its true location be even more surprising than we imagine? When the flood ended, humanity emerged to rebuild a devastated world. But the Bible mentions only Noah's descendants as responsible for repopulating the earth. How can we explain the cultural, linguistic, and technological diversity that arose so quickly? Apocryphal texts and oral traditions from other cultures suggest that the flood might not have been as global as traditionally believed. What if other civilizations also survived, isolated in protected regions? These cultures might have contributed to the advancements seen in subsequent generations. Moreover, some archaeologists hypothesize that traces of advanced civilizations before the flood were deliberately erased by the destructive power of water. Inexplicable structures, such as pyramids and ancient temples, could be remnants of a pre-flood world. The omission of these stories raises an unsettling question. What really happened to humanity after the flood? And why is there so much silence about these early beginnings? Before the flood, the world was inhabited by extraordinary creatures known as Nephilim, giants mentioned in the Bible and other ancient traditions. These beings are often described as the offspring of fallen angels and humans, a combination that corrupted divine creation. But what happened to them during the flood? The biblical narrative suggests the event was a way to cleanse the world of this corruption. But there are indications that not all Nephilim were destroyed. Historical accounts and myths from various cultures speak of giants existing long after the flood, building monuments and leaving traces of their existence. If these beings survived, where are they now? Or perhaps, could the stories of the Nephilim be metaphors for something even darker that God tried to erase? Their presence challenges everything we know about creation and divine order. Let's continue. But first, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. If you're enjoying the content, go ahead and click the thumbs up. The destruction caused by the flood wasn't just physical but also cultural. Ancient stories indicate that vast knowledge may have been lost forever. Advanced architecture, science, and even spirituality from a pre-flood world were wiped out, leaving only fragments scattered. In oral traditions and myths, some scholars believe stories of Atlantis, for example, are echoes of a civilization lost to the flood. Yet, curiously, certain technological advancements reappeared quickly in post-flood civilizations, as if some group had preserved this knowledge. Was the Ark merely a means to save creation? Or did it also transport secrets that ensured humanity's continuity? And what if Noah wasn't just a savior, but also a guardian of ancestral knowledge carefully preserved? After the flood, God makes a covenant with Noah, symbolized by the rainbow, promising never to destroy the earth through a flood again. But what does this covenant truly mean? Some scholars interpret it as a mutual responsibility contract. God spares humanity, but humanity, in turn, must follow sacred principles to avoid future disasters. However, the story leaves an unsettling question. Could humanity have failed to honor this covenant? Extreme weather events, global warming, and natural disasters suggest the flood might have been more than an isolated event. What if the lessons of the past are being ignored? Was God's promise definitive or conditional? The rainbow is seen as a symbol of hope, but could it also carry a hidden warning? While many seek physical evidence of the ark, others believe it is more than just a boat. It represents resilience, faith, and the ability to start anew. In a modern world filled with uncertainties, wars, and climate change, Noah's story resonates powerfully. But what if the ark wasn't just a symbol? Some theorists propose that the concept of an ark can be reinterpreted as any effort to save humanity from inevitable disasters. From environmental preservation projects to space colonies, are we recreating a new Noah's Ark? Or perhaps the true ark is the Earth itself, and we are failing to take care of it? The narrative leaves a final message that may be uncomfortable. Are we prepared for the next great flood, whether literal or symbolic? Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to keep receiving more amazing content like this.